Hello guys. This is again Rego42, and today I finally present you the tutorial for the Iron Farm we'll use on the SciCraft server. Yay! So, you have just seen the intro, which was made by our server member Elkonjo, and he even made the music for it, so big shout out to him. Thanks Elkonjo, great work. Now, some stats about this farm. It has 256 villages, which are all centered at one spot. And it's actually strange that this happens. Yeah, this shouldn't happen too often. Anyway. Yeah, so this farm has 256 villages and uses about 98 stacks of doors, which is quite a lot, but it's fairly easy to build. And yeah, I don't want to waste too much of time. So let's jump into a new world and I'll show you how to build this farm. Alright, so we're in the new world. And I've already marked out one spot, which is, in this case, 0, 0. So, as with the last Iron Farm tutorial, I'll keep this as a reference point, just so you can easier figure out where to build the different parts of the farm. In addition, I've also marked out the directions towards negative X and positive X. So, red goes to positive X, blue to positive X, blue goes to negative X, just to give you a rough orientation. Alright, so to get started, we first want to go up in the air until we reach Y100. So you can build it a few blocks higher or lower. However, I would really recommend that you actually build it at Y100, just so it is a bit easier, and we'll have to go down by a few blocks, like almost 70 blocks down and 70 blocks up. So keep that in mind when choosing your height. I will use Y100 for now. So once you got the block Y100 here, just look at your F screen that says looking at 0, 100, 0, or whatever your X and Z coordinate are. Then, in the X direction, go out by a few blocks until you actually reach minus 11. Then you can knock out the rest here. And the other direction until you reach X equals plus 11. Then you can get rid of the stuff. So from this point, we actually need to go to a different height, namely to go down until we reach Y equals 91. So right here, as well as the heights 97. So this block right here. Then the next height is 101. So right here. As well as 107. So these three heights, 91, 97, 101, 107. Okay. So at these heights, we'll build the platforms for the doors, which means we'll have to go out by a few blocks. Now we're on the negative side. This is important because the platforms are slightly shifted on both sides. So on this side, here, I got the numbers written down. Go out to minus 15 and to plus 16. All right. So this should be 32 blocks long, and we also make it 32 blocks wide, which means we have to go all the way until X equals minus 42, which is actually a nice coincidence, but yeah, it's really a coincidence that came out while doing the math for this farm. Then make one solid platform out of the bottommost layer. And yeah, I'll just speed this up a bit and see you again when I filled in the layers. Alright, so I got the 4 layers in place. And I should actually turn the difficulty to 0. Just for now, obviously you will have to light it up in your survival world. Then we want to go to the other side and basically do the same thing. So one layer at 101. And the lowest layer has 91 as its coordinate. So 97 we want to keep, 101, and 107. Alright, so for the positive side, we have some different coordinates, which means we have to go to z equals minus 17. So this is slightly shifted. It will be the same size as the other side, but slightly shifted to negative z. So go to z equals minus 17 and until plus 14. Just like so. Then again, make this 32 blocks long side until you reach plus 42 and turn it into a solid platform. Alright, next 4 platforms are in place. Then we actually have to knock out some of these platforms again. Or not the whole platform, but some parts. So make sure you go to negative corner. So negative x, negative z. Then from this corner, count in 2 blocks and remove this row. Like so. Do this for all the layers except for the bottommost one. You definitely want to keep the one at the bottom, because otherwise you might get some significant lag due to light updates later on. So knock out this row and do the same thing for the topmost layer. Just like so. Then for the rest of the platform, always count 3 blocks, 1, 2, 3, and knock out the 4th one. So this row, 1, 2, 3, next row, and so on. Alright, once you're done with one layer, this is what it should look like. So you have a single stripe over here and 2 blocks on the other edge. So remember, these 2 blocks should be on negative, negative. Then go to positive, positive, so basically the other platforms, and do the same thing from the positive, positive side. So count in 2 blocks, knock out this row, then 3 blocks, knock out, 3 blocks, knock the next one out, all the way through. So 1, 2, 3, this one, and you end up again with a single block. So knock out the complete rows and do this for all layers except for the bottommost one. You definitely want to have solid blocks in the bottommost one, because otherwise you will get some trouble with the light updates and your server might get a bit laggy. Alright, so I'll just do this and see you again once it's done. Okay, so I just finished it for the topmost layer. Of course, we'll have to do the same thing for the other layers, but I will just clone this to the other heights in a second. Of course, in survival you would have to do it manually, but for now, let's just focus on one layer. Alright, once you got this done, then make sure you stand orthogonal to this kind of axis of your farm, so basically face into the Z direction, and then place doors all over the blocks that you have not knocked out yet. This will require quite a lot of doors, because I haven't actually said it, this farm contains 256 villages, and they will all be focused into one spot. So this might take some time to place all the doors, but just make sure that they're facing into the set direction. It doesn't matter if they get powered later on, just basically the placement is important, because this will determine how they get sky access. Or better say, how they look for sky access. So just walk all the way across your platforms and fill in all your platforms. So I'll do this again in a speed up manner and see you again once it's finished. Alright, so second set of doors is in place, and now you actually got most of the work done already. However, what we still need is of course a roof on top of here, and that one will go at the height of 112. So like here, and then make sure in the set direction, so this direction and this one, that you extend it by 5 more blocks than this part here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All solid blocks. Then bring this all along the full 32 blocks. Like so. Then all the way over to the other side. And also on the other side, it has to exceed the edge here by 5 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can also place more blocks here, but 5 is enough. So complete the whole platform. And if you want to save on knocking out some blocks, you can actually wait a bit in the tutorial. I'll just finish this platform completely, and then we'll have to knock out some blocks again. Or to be more precise, whenever there's a gap below here, you can actually leave out the blocks. So here will be a gap, like so. Then right here, we'll leave a gap. And so on. You can fill these in with glass if you like. Just make sure there's nothing that blocks sky access. So this would be completely fine. All right. So I'm again on the positive edge. And from this door over here, so the third door, I want to count out 5 blocks. So 1 is the air gap, 2, 3, so this one, 4, 5. And also knock out this row of blocks. And if you like, you can now fill them with glass. But on the other side, if you fill this one with glass, you will have to cover it up, or just make sure that there's a solid block on top, either here or just 1 block higher. Doesn't really matter. Just like so. All right. Then we want to do the same thing on the other side. Obviously, we'll go to the same height, so 2, 3 blocks, 112. Go out 5 more blocks here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And just as on the other side, bring this all across. So you exceed this by 5 blocks again. 3, 4, 5. Make a platform. And this time the holes can start on this side. So we go to the negative set side. Third door, count 5 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one is knocked out. Then you have 3 solid blocks. This one is knocked out. 3 solid blocks. This one gets knocked out. This one, this one. So it should always be over these trenches here. And essentially just the last trench, don't knock this one out. This one has to stay in. And then just turn these into small platforms. And obviously I'll skip this part and see you when this is finished. All right. The main part of the work is done. So right now we're going to get back to the x equals 0, or let's say z equals 0 part. And we have to put in some doors on top of here. And for some of them, we'll need a hopper. So let me just grab one. So we'll need a hopper or slime blocks to place some doors on top of this gap. So it's important that we don't obstruct sky access here. But yeah, we still need to place some doors here. Now, we're on the negative side, so at the center, come out by a block and place a block on each side. And then, facing in the x direction, put a door here and here. So at x equals -10. And then we have a certain pattern that we'll have to place the doors. And this is 2 doors at x equals 10. Oh, sorry, -10. 1 at -11. Then again 2 doors at -12. So that's why I need a hopper here, so we can place a door on top, but it doesn't obstruct sky access. Then another one on 13, -14. At -15, we place another 2 doors. And then it should get fairly easy, because then it's nothing at 16, then it's 17, 18, 19, so 3 doors again. Skip 1, 1 door, skip 1, a door. Then skip 2, so we're at -26. Then we go to -31, so right here. So we skip 4 blocks. Next is minus 37. Right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks skipped. And after that, we have to extend our platform a bit. So we reach minus 50. Then we can remove these blocks. Place one more door over here. And then go out really huge distance until you reach minus 100. So 100 blocks away from your center. Like so. And place a door on top of here. Then you can remove this part again. But we'll have to come back here, so you might want to leave it in for some time. I'll just remove it, so it's a bit cleaner. Alright, next we need to make valid village doors out of these doors. And this is actually a bit tricky, so I'll have to show you the exact pattern. And the thing that makes it a bit tricky at some points is, for example, that we can't put any solid blocks on top of these trenches. So what you do is we place a block on these front doors, go out by one more block, like so, then place a block in the middle. And from this part, we'll now extend the line with a certain pattern. So we go out by 5 more blocks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then use some glass blocks or just leave them empty for 3 blocks. Then place another 3 solid blocks. Then it's 1 glass block, followed by 5 solid blocks. After 5, we have another 3 glass blocks. Then we have 4 solid blocks, 2 glass blocks, 2 solid blocks. And then you can just extend a line of glass to the end here, so you're aware that you shouldn't block sky access on any of these blocks. Alright. Then, obviously, we'll also have to make these doors into valid doors, so let's just put a block on top of here and one in front. And right here, we'll put a lot of blocks down. For now, let's just build it like this. We'll actually put some more stuff around here, but this doesn't really matter. Okay, now that we got these doors in place, we want to take care of the first bit of redstone. So for this, we go to the negative side. And actually, this is a negative edge. Then basically what we want to do is block off this part here, but one block lower. So right here, and yeah, just place a piston like so, one block next to these doors, and solid block in front. So just like this. And then behind, we want to place another solid block, so it might be easier to place this one first and then pistons against it. Like so. Just like this. Then sticky pistons everywhere. And another solid block in front. So I just use the gold blocks to show that these will be moved. But you can use any solid block that you like. Next, on top of here, place comparators. Just one comparator on each block. And in survival, it's actually easier to do it just like this. Voila. Now repeat this for all the gaps on the side, which means we'll have a block here, 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 so always on the middle block, basically, as well as here, so also all the ones in between. Then again, piston, solid block, and a comparator in front. Now I'll complete this part and see you in a second. Okay, now that these pistons, comparators, and everything is in place, we want to go for this line here, so the very first one, then come out by 2 blocks to right here, and place a dropper facing in this direction. You can knock out these blocks. Next, we want to have a hopper line going all along this side. So make sure everything's facing in the direction of this dropper. And we'll go until we reach the last row of comparators. Then just continue the line like this. All the way along until you end up here. Then move back a few blocks. And yeah, basically make a snake pattern through all these lines, always behind the comparators. So we're now going back. So when you reach here, just make the bend. So we should always have one wide gap. And right here, we go into the next line. Just like so. And in the end, just make the same pattern until you reach the dropper again. So on this part here, let me just get some temporary blocks in. Should have a hopper facing like this. So there would be more droppers going in this direction. But from this one, you should at some point end up in the dropper or in front of the dropper. Like so, and one more hopper. So this creates one circle, and basically the dropper is just a kind of stopper for an item that will travel through this part. And yeah. So I'll finish it on this side, and we'll then build almost the same thing on the other side. So I'll catch you once this part is done. Okay, so I finished it on the negative side. Now I'll do the same thing on the positive side. However, it will be slightly more complicated because we'll need to build a little platform out here. Just a temporary one so you can walk on it in survival. But essentially it's the same concept. So get a piston like with a 1 block gap in here, and make sure it's starting from the positive side, so pushing from positive to negative set. So piston like this, then again make a complete row out of it, and of course some blocks behind, like so. Some solid blocks in front, and again comparators behind, just like so. And I'll finish this part and see you in a second. Okay, so the piston and everything is in place. Then we want to do the same thing again. Count 2 blocks, place a dropper facing this direction, and want to make another hopper line. So then we start going out on the side here. So where's the last one? Over here. Like this, just so we can turn through this trench. And yeah, this is exactly the same thing as you did on the other side. So just complete it. Make a little turn here. Right here. Bring it back. And just make sure that all the hoppers are facing in the right direction. And yeah, so the items don't get stuck, because obviously that would break the farm. So just like this. Now I'll skip ahead in time again and see you in another second. Okay, so the circle is almost completed. Again, one last hopper, and we're done with this part. Then we want to grab some furnaces, as well as some redstone dust. And now this is something that you have to do on both sides, so I'll just show it on one side. Basically all the hoppers which are not covered yet, you place a furnace on top to reduce strain on your server a bit. Just like so. Voila. Of course, also here in the middle, these ones will cover up. Just like so. Of course, do the same thing on this side as well. Then take a look where your hopper lines are running, and on your regular roof, put redstone dust everywhere where there's a hopper below. So essentially it's right here, just all along, then right here, and so on, just for the whole roof. Do the same thing on the other side. So this would be here with the hopper line, so put some redstone dust right here, and so on. So I'll make another cut here and see you when this part is done as well. Next, when you got all these redstone lines in place, as well as the furnaces, then next to each of these redstone lines, make sure don't cover up this part, but on the other side, come up by a block, then build one complete line of blocks all over the roof on the positive side. On the negative side, we'll only build part of it, so I'll just do it for this stripe here. Now on count in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 blocks. So this is exactly the middle of the roof, basically, these 2 blocks. Then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 more blocks. And put another line of redstone all across. Just like so. Get rid of this block. Now, again, for the negative X side, build it until this block here. Just for all of these lines. And on the positive side, just build it all over the roof. So, again, I'll skip ahead and see you in another second. Okay, so this part is in place. Then we'll move on to the next part. And for this, at the very end here, place a redstone torch. And you should see a redstone power level of 3 at the end here. Then this was the central block. This is the other central block. 1, 2, 3. Another one right here. And you should also see power level of 3 on this end. Now we do this for all the lanes again. Just like so. Okay, and the same thing on the other side. So now we'll have to figure out the middle again. So it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. This one. So again, power level 3 and power level 3. Perfect. Now also on this side, just do this for all the lanes. Like so. And of course also the second torch. Just like this. Then next to torches, place a repeater facing kind of inwards in both cases. So just like this. And make sure it's on 1 tick as well. So on the positive side, it should look like this. And on the negative side, we only have 1 repeater to place for each lane. But it's just the same right at the block next to the redstone torch. Just like so. Then come to the back and get 1 line in here. Replace the first piece of redstone dust with another repeater. And of course, connect them all with some redstone dust. Then you want to figure out the block where you can power them all at once. So already found it. So this is the block where we want to insert another signal later on. So just mark it somehow. I'll just put a repeater here for now. On the other side, we'll do something quite similar, but we don't need to figure out the point where we have to inject the signal, because we'll change it slightly anyways. So for now, just put a repeater instead of the last piece of redstone here. And put a line of redstone in here. As I said, we'll remove a small part of it in the center, but that's a minor detail that we'll take care of later. All right. Next, we'll actually take care of some of the redstone logic. So on the negative side, come out from this dropper here with a comparator. Just like so. Build a little platform in front of here. You don't really need a full platform, but it's just easier to build in survival that way. So this should do it. Doesn't really matter how big it is. If you notice that you need some more space, you can expand it later on. So just like this, approximately. Then piece of redstone dust in front of here, 1 tick repeater in this direction, 4 tick repeater in this direction. Then on this side, come out 8 blocks with redstone dust. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then just build up an Ars knowledge. So just like this. Then from this side, on this piece of redstone dust, come out 2 blocks. Put a torch here, piece of redstone dust here, and build a staircase back down. Then we place a repeater this side, redstone dust on top, and redstone dust like so. Then we want to have a repeater facing out from this line, as well as this little bridge over here, like so, and 3 blocks in front. Now on top of these blocks, we want to place a redstone torch and 2 pieces of redstone dust. Then another torch on this side, 1 piece of redstone dust, 2 repeaters, and 3 blocks like this. Then knock out these 2 blocks, or better say lower them by 1. So like this. 2 pieces of redstone dust, a redstone torch, then another block with a piece of redstone dust, but put a solid block on top so this gets cut off. Then a block in front and a redstone torch on top of it. Now this part might be a bit tricky in survival again, but from this block, staircase down by 2 blocks, put some redstone dust on top of these blocks. 1 on block this and 1 without redstone dust for now. Then from this part over here, we want to extend it by 1 block with a redstone torch in front. And again, we'll have to wire this downwards, like so. Then we can place a redstone torch right here and some dust on top. And we'll just continue this little staircase to down here. You can knock out these bottom blocks. And we have to replace this block here with a slab. So let's get a slab, place it like so, and replace the door. Then you can just put the redstone dust on top of these blocks. Then from the last hopper at this edge here, you want to come out with a comparator, piece of redstone dust in front, a repeater. You can set it to any delay, doesn't really matter. Then bring this over to here. So I have 2 block gap. Then also put a repeater right here. Just like so. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we'll just put another 1-tick repeater here to extend the signal. And just bring it over for a few more blocks. And we'll continue here in a second. Now from this part over here, we want to build a little pulse shortener. So the easiest version is just a piece of redstone dust right here. So it faces into the block above the piston. Then we'll go out to the side here, like this, just with a repeater on 4 ticks, some redstone dust, like so. And then we'll just build another Ars Knowledge. So 1 torch right here, 1 right here, some dust on top. And yep, this is working already. So now all we have to do is connect these 2 parts together, just like so. Now, before we continue on this side, we have a torch right here. So I want to bring this up by 2 blocks, like so. And we'll also place a block right here with a repeater on top. Then we'll bring this out just a tiny little bit, so we can make another pulse shortener. A piston, block on top. And actually we can build this to the side. So just put a 4-tick repeater here. Then on this part we'll build a very simple clock. But it's actually only a delay stage, so we need a regular piston on one end. So comparators coming out of here. Now in this case, make sure you don't cut off the signal. So just leave this block out. This, then on this side, regular piston. On this side, a sticky piston. Then add a redstone block in between. And we'll just put about 1.5 stacks of items in here. So that should be good enough. And this signal we actually want to grab. So yeah, you have to make sure that you don't put a piece of redstone dust here, because then it wouldn't face into the piston anymore. So take a repeater, block in front, and 1 piece of redstone dust on top of the furnace here. Now don't put your hopper clock equipment away. We'll actually continue with another hopper clock. So we'll just take the signal from here with a repeater and just build another hopper clock right here. So with a comparator, sticky piston, 2 hoppers. I guess it's a fairly standard design, so there's not too much to say. In this case, it's really a regular hopper clock. And of course, I'll need the redstone block again. Then right here, put in 2 stacks and 47 items. So this can run for a while, doesn't really matter. Then we just come out here with a repeater. Oh, sorry, actually we don't need a repeater right here, but a sticky piston, block on top. And then right here, we want to have a 4-tick repeater, like this. And this will face into yet another hopper timer. However, this time it's again one with a sticky piston and a regular piston. So redstone dust on this side. Same thing on this side. So here we have again a regular piston. Here a sticky piston. And then we want to put 10 items in here. Oh. 10 items in here. And preferably, before this happens, we put a redstone block in. So, let's see if it works. Yep. So after a few seconds, the signal will turn off. And this is basically just a pulse extender. Which means we can grab the signal from this pulse extender. So make sure to put a repeater immediately right here with 1 tick. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 15. So we'll need another repeater right here. Just bring this all the way over until we reach this point. Then we need to build a little villager cell on top of here. So let me get some glass. I'll just stick with the blue stained glass for now. I'll put a block on top. Then frame this in with some glass. And make sure it's at least 3 blocks high. Just like this. We'll actually have to get a villager in here, so better don't cap it off yet. Or just get a villager in here. Then bring this line over. Get a redstone torch. What do we need? Won't need to compare this. I will probably need them again, but put a redstone torch right here. And just bring in the signal. And to be on the safe side, I'll put a repeater here. Then extend this line once through the whole farm. Well, almost through the whole farm. So I'll probably skip that part and see when this line is in. Okay, given you did everything correctly, it should look somewhat like this. So we'll come back to this end. And actually we have to place some other villager cells first. So come to this -50 door. Place a sticky piston with a block on top. On here, it doesn't matter if it's exactly on the door or 1 block off. Then make another little cell out of it. Again, at least 3 blocks high. Get a villager in. Redstone torch right here. A piece of redstone dust on top of here. And we'll actually do the same thing right here and right on top of this block. So -25, which is just 2 blocks from this torch in. Build yet another villager cell. So like this. And like this. Now redstone torch right here. Plus, we'll have to make a little change to this line. So just lower this by 1 block. And put a solid block here, so we cut these lines apart again. Piece of redstone dust behind. And this side is almost done. So one last thing that we have to do, we have to connect these. And we actually use 16 repeaters in between 2 of these villager cells. So 1, 2, 3, 4, all on the full delay. 1, 2, 3, 4. I just spaced them out a bit so it's easier to count if I mess something up. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 16, just make sure it reaches this block. And here you really need redstone dust, so it turns this torch off. And of course, if you have solid blocks as your cage here, then this one has to be removed. But since we're using some glass, this doesn't matter. So I'll just connect these together. Then we do the same thing to the next one. However, these are a bit closer together, so I will space them out in a bit of a different manner. So 4. Then how much space have we got left? 1, 2, 3, 4. And 2 more right here. Doesn't matter how you exactly space them out. I tried to split it somewhat evenly, but not that bad. So right here. And then we need to put in some more repeaters for the other side. So 1. Actually, let's leave some more space. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 for now. So just make sure you're not at the complete end, but somewhere around the middle of the 10 repeaters. We'll have to add some more here, but we'll do this in a second. So again, just connect all this stuff. Just like so. Then, if you haven't gotten your villagers in yet, this is probably a good time to do so. So, in each of these cells, get 1 villager. Just like this. And if you like to do so, you can cap them off. Like this. And like this. For the next part, we'll come over to this side. So we're not 100% done on this side, but 99%. And the most complicated redstone is also done already. So stick with me for a few more minutes and we'll be done soon. Now on this side, you can see this 3-block wide gap here. So we actually want to use it. So we have to get rid of these blocks. So we switch this part around a little bit. Then actually this one has to be replaced with a furnace. Like this. Then get a piston right here. Sorry, actually 1 block higher. So a piston like this. Piece of redstone dust right here. Then we build a little bit of a platform here, just 3 blocks wide. So again, make sure that you don't cover these trenches where the gold blocks are at the moment. Like this. Then I need a comparator. What can I get rid of? The furnace for now. And of course some more hoppers. So once again, we build a little hopper timer. Sticky piston on this side, regular piston on this side. Voila. Then we can connect it, which means we put another 4-tick repeater in here. We had 10 already, and we need 15 in total, so we need another 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then just connect this part. Put 2 pieces of redstone dust here. Sticky piston. Block in front. Repeater on 4 ticks. Then a block with a redstone torch. Block on top. And another redstone torch. With yet another block on top. And right here, guess what we're going to build? Right, yet another hopper timer. So just do it like this. Block in front. And this is again just a pulse extender. Oh, this has to be a sticky piston. Now this one receives 10 items. So like this. And let's see if it turns off in a few seconds. Yeah. Then in this hopper timer, we also need a few items. But in this case, we'll use 24 items. So just put them in. We'll trigger some stuff, and we'll also trigger this one again, but that doesn't really matter for now, since we'll just come out by another few blocks here, put a repeater, and a redstone torch right here. Then from this redstone torch, get a piston facing downward, as well as one facing upwards. And from this piston, we'll just bring a signal down, so like this. Knock out this block for now. And then just continue this pattern down. So like this, redstone block. Then piece of redstone dust right here. Oh, sorry, of course, one block lower. So just like this. Now you should make sure that this block is one block higher than the hoppers, so it doesn't power them. And if this is the case, you can just continue with the same pattern. So redstone block, dust. Just make sure that this one is extended, of course. If it's not extended for some reason, then you'll have to add one air block in between. So I'll just wire this down. So, and one more block for now. So we'll actually continue this part later on. But for now, we need some slime blocks, because this part is a bit more tricky. So since we don't want to power anything right here, we have to use a couple of slime blocks. So replace this one with a furnace. And you might also want to replace this one, but it's not actually necessary. So give me a second. Yeah, we can actually get a redstone block right here. Then a sticky piston in front. Oh, sorry. No, that doesn't work. So what's up? We actually have to replace this one with a furnace as well. And then get a comparator back on here. So then just bring these slime blocks down a few blocks. And we have, let me count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So just make sure you don't exceed the push limit. And in case you extend these a bit further down, you have to watch out for these blocks. But for now, we'll save on some slime blocks, which means we build it like this. And do the exact same pattern as we did for this part here. So yeah, the doors will flick every now and then, but it doesn't matter. So for now, we'll extend it that far, and we'll actually have to go down to this part in a second, which I already prepared, but I'll show you again how to build this exactly. So the same thing we want to do in this direction, but this time we actually need some slime blocks. So go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 slime blocks, redstone block, sticky piston, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, another redstone block, sticky piston, and get your F3 screen, because this needs to go to a certain height, and this height is somewhere up here. I don't know the exact coordinate by heart, so we just go to 165. So looking at 165 Y, and on top of this door, on on top of this block. Should be 43, sorry, 42. So 1 block back. On top of this one, as well as some others, we'll place some doors. So for this, just make sure that you, again, don't cover these parts here. Which means we're currently in this position, so go out by something like this. Then get rid of these or put some glass in here. Get some doors. And make sure you're facing in the X direction. Place these doors like this. And I also forgot some. Need some more. So yeah, it should be 10 doors so far. So we got 3 doors and 3 doors here. And 2 on each side makes 10 doors. Then we put 1 additional door in front of here. Next, a row of solid blocks. Again, don't cover this gap. Put some solid blocks on top of the doors. And 1 behind right here. Then somewhere around here, it's not really that important where you build it. We want to get another villager in. So if he's pushed up to detect the doors, he'll be in these 2 blocks, ours in this one. So this is the block he'll be standing on when retracted. Here's the piston. So make sure there's a 3 block gap right here. Then you can already build a little glass tube for him. So obviously this one will be a bit more complicated to get in place, but it's really not that hard. So before I forget to add a villager, let's put this guy in. Complete this part. And then we want to extend this a little further. And actually invert the signal. So this is a bit freestyle now. Rid of this. So use a furnace to grab the signal from this redstone block. Then actually bring this up by another block. So it doesn't matter how exactly you build this up. Just make sure you may not cover these rows of the gold blocks. And make sure to invert the signal once. Just like so. Okay, so now I'm below this platform. And I've actually prepared some stuff here already. So we do basically the same thing, add some more doors. And these are standing on top of the block with Y level 32. So doors 33 and 34. Also, they're at X equals 42, which means they're exactly below the edge of this platform. So let me just show you again. X equals 42. And this one is also looking at X equals 32. Sorry, 42. Then these are in total 17 doors, where 3 of them in the center. So Z equals 0. Remember your ZX for the farm. I have 3 doors that have no pistons on top. And for the other doors, just put a piston like 2 blocks in front, right here. Then a solid block in front of these pistons. And just do this for all the doors. And of course, these have to be sticky pistons. Then on top of the pistons, you want to block them all off with some solid block. Yes. Behind the pistons with a line of redstone. And of course, you have to make sure that these sticky pistons can extend. So knock out the blocks right here, but if you dug a hole like I did right here, make sure to cover these spaces again with solid blocks. And if you extend this hole a bit further, like here, and say let's extend it all the way to the top here, make sure that also this is capped off. So I'll just fill this back in. So 1 block is enough, and just make sure that everything's blocked off until 5 blocks from the doors. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and yeah, the one where the wall is now. Then I also got a villager in place right here already. Now the piston is at 36 at Y, so Y 36. Again, block on top, villager in, and make sure it's got some space to breathe when this is extended. Then we need to power this line, obviously. And for this, we actually have to grab the 2 lines that we started up here. So again, just extend them all the way down here. So you might have to dig out some more stuff. And I'll actually do this and see you when I got the signal down. Okay, so I got the 2 signals down. I shifted them over by a block every now and then, but it doesn't really matter how you shift them as long as you stay close to the farm here and don't go out in this direction. So this one I shifted 1 block back. This one also 1 block back and a block over. Now, from the right one, we want to invert the signal, which means do something like this. Then on the other side, do the same thing. Put a redstone torch. And we also put one on this signal line. Then, no, actually we can stay on this side. So get some more space around here. Just like so. Then grab these signals. Essentially connect these 2 torches. And put another torch right here to invert the signal once again. So that's all. Again, 3 doors in the center around your central set point. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 doors on each side adjacent to it. So in total is 7 plus 3 plus 7 makes 17. Now we want to come up here. And we actually need to power this dropper right here. So get a repeater facing out from this block. And wire the signal down into this dropper. Then we also want to make use of this block right here. So we put a regular block here, piece of redstone dust in front. Then build something like this. A sticky piston facing upwards. Then a 2-tick repeater here. So this is important. It has to be exactly 2 ticks. On this side we do the same thing. Piston, block, 2 blocks, 2-tick repeater, and another piece of redstone dust. So now there's actually only one last thing that we have to do on this side. Oh, well, actually there are a few more things, but one more important thing is put a block right here. All right, so we want to grab the signal. Basically, whenever this one turns off, we want to grab the signal here. Then split this off into 2 branches. Put a 4-tick repeater here. like so, and like so. Piece of redstone dust in the middle, and then a redstone torch right here. Then grab a repeater, build a hopper timer right here. So let me just grab one of these. This redstone block, and then put in 1.5 stacks of items. So make sure, of course, it's non-stackable, because otherwise this might get too full. But yeah, essentially 64 plus 32 items. And then we only need one more thing. Namely, we grab the signal and feed it on top of this furnace. Okay, so now this hopper timer is in place. We also need to do something with these ends of redstone. So we connect them all together. Like this. Then put a repeater on each end. Just on one tick. Like so. Then we want to grab a signal from over here. And we actually have to make a little gate here. Because this line can actually receive two different pulses. So it can receive a 2-tick pulse, which we'll add here in a second, the generation for it. And it can also receive a longer pulse. And we basically have to filter out the long pulses. Or get rid of the short pulses, but only transmit the long ones. So 4-tick repeater on one side, redstone dust on the other side. Then grab a redstone torch besides, redstone dust in the middle, block in front, and then just bring this line out and over to the other side. Like so, put redstone dust on top here, and for now we'll just knock out this piece of dust. So we know where to extend the signal. And this is probably a bit too weak, so let me do it like this. Now we also have to figure out where to inject the signal, so we power both sides, this one and the repeater on this side. Okay, so just put a repeater right here. So reach this part and this one. And this part is actually done. Okay, of course, this line is still powered, so one piece of redstone dust here. And now this part is really done. Okay, so now we want to get some more villagers in place, namely the ones that detect these doors. So the ones on top here, these, and also ones on the bottom here. So currently we are facing towards positive X. So the position where we want to place our villagers is 27 minus 1. So around here. And actually I said minus 1, so it means right here. Right? So on the F3 screen, you can see 27 minus 1. This is where one villager will go. So build a little thing like this and like this. So make sure don't cover up these paths. Then from here, bring out a line of blocks. Like so. Then This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 blocks, and one more. That should be sufficient. So this is between the two topmost layers, and we do exactly the same thing for the other two layers. So again, 27 minus 1 right here. Then up, like so, like so. And bring this out. So 61, 61. Okay, just like this. Then let's get some rails. Regular rails and some powered rails. So one regular rail here, powered rails all the way until we reach the other end. So, and right here we need a regular rail again. Then you can get a villager on here in a minecart. Usually easier if it's powered. So let's do it like this. And then just make sure that you notch him to one end, like that. And also power the rest of this part here. So yeah, let's update this. Okay, now everything's powered here. So do the same thing up here. And then we do almost the same thing on the negative side. However, on the negative side, it's at minus 26, 1. So over here, up 26, right here, minus 26, 1. Then it doesn't actually matter on which side we wait. Yeah, on this side. Okay. Then on this side, this little thing, like this. Then bring this line out again. And from this block on, 18 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And stopper. So right here. And also right here. Minus 26, 1. Like this. So then also right here, put some rails in. Exactly the same way as I showed you on the other side. And on each of these rails, so this one, and on the other side, you will need to have one villager. Okay, all the villagers are in place. So from these constructs, you want to bring out a line of blocks to the center of the farm, like this. Same thing on the other side. And then put some redstone dust here, like this. Leave out the first block for now. And of course, do this on both layers. Then we want to bring up a signal here for this. For simplicity, we'll just start somewhere. So this is just to get the input to reset the farm down to the ground. You can also put the input somewhere else, but that's the easiest version, I think. So let's get some redstone torches. Place one right here. And actually, this is not the smartest idea. We should have a block at the top layer. Also right here. And then just knock out every second block. Place a redstone torch. So bring this down to whatever layer you want to have your input. I'll just go for this height for now. Then this is 67, so I'm gonna have it on the same height here. So I've got this one, this one. And since we'll have the golems spawning in here and they might drop down here, we just bring it out by a few blocks. One line over. Same thing on this side. Just connect them. Then, wherever you want to have your input, get a button, like so. And then just bring the signal into these redstone torch towers. Okay, let's see if it works. Yep, both of them trigger. Then you want to come back up here, and both of these lines should be unpowered by default. So at the moment, this torch is not powered, which means this block is not powered. And we put a repeater here. Same thing on the other side. Block is not powered unless someone presses the button. So repeater. Then up here, this torch is on, which means this block is turned on. And therefore we just put a torch here. Same thing on the other side again. This block's powered, so torch, and this line is unpowered by default. All right. Then we want to go to the negative side. And on this side, we actually need the signal still for something else, because this will also initiate our reset process. So put a repeater here to grab the signal from this block. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we have this redstone line coming down from our redstone logic. So we just continue the staircase like this. Then we have a little problem, namely that this block right here would cut off a redstone signal like this. So we get a slab and just replace this block with a slab, place the door back on here, and that part should be working. Then we just need a repeater here to extend the signal. And yeah, now we can actually start the reset process, at least in theory. Then there's one more detail that I almost forgot over here. So we got the doors down here and they need skylight access, which means we need to switch out some blocks. And if you take a look, this gap is at x equals 45. So at the same place, we need to make sure that there's skylight access and these blocks don't obstruct it, which means remove this one and replace it with a slime block or a hopper. Both work. Just like so. Then, if you did everything correctly, this should be just one block next to these hoppers, furnaces, and everything. Okay, so on this side, we need to do one more thing, and that is to provide a signal to these powered rails so the villagers get sent in. And to this end, we simply grab a signal from here, then make sure to place a slime block here as well, or a hopper. Just bring this over like so, and power this block. As an alternative, you can also put a block here and just face it in there. So just take the signal, and to be on the safe side, let's put a 40 repeater in. Then we do the same thing over here. Slime block. Like so. A repeater. You don't really need the repeater, but yeah, I just want to be on the safe side. And no, actually you need one. Sorry. The signal wouldn't reach over here. So yeah, just put this in. And that should be that part done. Alright, so we're back at the center of the farm. And now it's time to get the spawning pads in. And the spawn pads I'll show you here are redstone block spawning pads, which were originally developed by Panda4994. So I guess every one of you should know him. If you don't know him, I'll put a link in the video description. So be sure to check out his video where he shows these spawn pads for the first time. Alright, so look towards -X. And right from this redstone torch tower, make a little frame, which goes to -12 instead, and towards positive set to +10. So then bring this over, and here we actually have a little gap. So this should be x equals 8, and on the other side, x equals -9. Perfect. So again, these won't be your coordinates in survival world, of course, so you have to adjust these coordinates, but still. Basically, you just have to take your center coordinate and add the values that I give you here. Then complete this frame, like so. Then we're at 103 in height in this case, so we need to expand it down to 97. I would even go to 96. So then, we want to start on the negative set. So, oh, positive set, wrong side. So right here, we're facing to a negative set. So we complete this wall here. You don't have to use glass, but it just looks nicer if you can see the column spawning. If this impacts on your performance, of course, just replace it with some solid blocks. Or don't use stained glass, but regular glass. So like this. Then get some redstone blocks, or if you want to save on some resources, you can also use slabs. Or in this case, whenever I place a redstone block, be sure to place a top slab, so like this. Anyway, come up by 4 blocks, like this. Then actually place a redstone block, so these need to be gone. And this one is on height 97. So from this, come up 6 blocks in total. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Expand this all the way over. 5, 6. Like so. And make it actually 2 blocks thick. So yeah, basically just fill in this whole area. And I'll skip this part. Or actually, I'm not going to skip this part because it's quite easy how to continue. So we leave a 2 block gap before we place the next redstone blocks. Again, 2 blocks thick and 6 blocks high. 6. So just like the other part here. And of course, you can replace all these redstone blocks, as I just said, with a top slab. So like this. But redstone blocks just look cool, and it's not really hard to gather the resources for these. So yeah, do this. Then another 2 block gap. 2 redstone blocks. 2 block gap. Like this. Then we have a 3 block gap, so the next layer wouldn't fit in anymore, which means we stop here. So I'll fill in all these blocks and see you in a second. Okay, so all the redstone blocks are in place. Then we want to grab some signs, and on the 3rd layer, so right here, get some signs. Actually, start placing them over here. So this is the 4 wide gap we have. place signs all along. Like so. Then you need to hold shift by now to place signs against other signs. And Minecraft is still buggy because you need to hold shift and release it each time. So yeah. Thanks Mojang for that bug. So if you want to place a sign against another one, you have to press shift every time again, then release shift, press it again, up. And of course, if you're hovering, that's kind of annoying. But yeah, just fill in all this area here with signs. So I'll just do it for this one slice here. Then come to the other side. Also on the third block, place a trapdoor and update it. So usually if you place the next trapdoor here, it will update the other one. So it flicks down. But the one at the very end, just give it a block update some way. Doesn't matter how you do it. So also make sure, since this is directionally dependent, that these trapdoors are on the positive set side. Then get some signs in. Just like so. And do this also for the other gaps, like until over here. So again, third block. Like this. And this one will get an update in a second. So we also fill in this side. Just like so. The reason why I don't fill in the other two sides yet is because we'll have to watch out for a certain thing there, but I'll come to that later. So get these trapdoors in place. Then again, on the same height as the trapdoors, get some signs in place and another sign against them. This. So that's a bit of a tedious part, but yeah. Then again, 3 blocks higher, we do the same thing once more. Like this. This, obviously I left out the trapdoors here, so if you haven't placed them yet, get these in as well as the signs. Yeah, just as I told you before. And yeah, just do this for the whole part here. Okay, now that all the signs and everything are in place, we want to go to the positive set side. So right here we have the 2 signs. Then put some water in. Once along this edge, like so. Then we can get some signs here. Or actually, might be easier to put them 1 block back. Like this. Then get some more water. It should flow like this. And we put the signs again on the last block. Oops. Let me just fix that. Like so. It doesn't matter how you place the signs, just block the water here. So, and one last row of water, like this. And also have to do the same thing on this layer. So for now, I'll just put some blocks in here so the water doesn't flow out. Like this. And actually on the negative side, we'll have to place some solid blocks in. On the positive side, it doesn't really matter. So on the positive side, you can just complete this wall. this row is important, so the water doesn't flow out. And we'll have to add some more water in here. Just get through here. So again, it has to go in the same direction, which means place some water right here. Then also right here, on top of the signs. This. And then comes the tricky part, so we have to knock out every second block of redstone here. Just like this. So if the golems spawn in there, they are also affected by some water current. Then do the same thing for the other rows. So right here, water in everywhere, knock out every second block. And continue this to reach back here. So again, water at the very end. Knock out every second block. And up. Don't want to have water here, but all the way here. In survival, it might be easier to just use regular ice and break it instead of using water buckets, but it doesn't matter how you get the water in here, just get some water here. And this looks quite promising so far. Then we're on the positive X side, so we can just complete this case here. Like so. This bit. And then on the negative side, make sure to place some solid blocks in every now and then. So I'll just put one right here on this side. Then, yeah, 3 block high gap is perfectly fine, but don't leave more than 4 blocks. Or sorry, not more than 3 blocks of air or non-solid blocks. So like this. And that should be good enough. Yes, but yeah, that should work. Then the rest you can fill in with glass. Or of course you can just make the whole wall solid. That's perfectly fine as well. So let me just finish this. I'll kind of clean this up and see you with the next step. Okay, I forgot that one more thing. So we got some solid blocks on the negative side here in already, but also on the top row, replace them with solid blocks if you have glass here, because otherwise you might still have some golems spawning on this side and they would get flushed out, so they would block your golem cap and reduce the productivity of the farm. So just replace all these blocks with a solid block. Alright, it's time for the last step. So we still need the population villagers, so this stuff actually spawns golems. And for this, we go to the negative X side, so negative and also negative Z. Then from this edge, come out by 4 blocks in total. Place a sticky piston. So this is the second layer from the bottom, by the way. Sticky piston, the slime block on top. Then 2 obsidian blocks or furnaces. So whenever I'm using obsidian, you can also use furnaces, but I think it's worth investing some obsidian here. Then block right here. Contraption like this. And this is where the redstone will go, but we'll put this in a second. So now, go on this part, 2 glass blocks, or whatever blocks you like. Then sticky piston, slime block, obsidian. 2 glass blocks, sticky piston, slime block, obsidian. 2 glass. Yeah, piston, slime, obsidian. And you can basically stand this to any height you'd like, but once we're at a decent height above these villagers, so yeah, this is at height 119. This block is 118, so this would be sufficient. We can also go up 1 more layer, but this is completely fine so far. It's just important that these villagers are out of range from all the doors. Then for the other sides, you can use glass at any point, except for the place where there's obsidian or slime blocks. So, like this. Then another 3 glass, 2 obsidian, 3 glass, 2 obsidian. Also 3 glass, 2 obsidian. Then the same thing for the other sides. You can also build complete obsidian pillar here, but yeah, I'll just use some glass because it looks a bit better. Okay, once you're up here, build a glass tube several blocks higher. And this is really important, otherwise your villagers will spread out and die and you won't be happy. So, because they get shot up by this piston once more and they'll easily fly up 10 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 15 blocks should be sufficient. But if you want to be on the safe side, you can go a bit higher, but I doubt that it will go higher than 15 blocks. So, well, we got the tube in place. Now, what we also need is a sticky piston, which is pushing the stuff in. So, put a temporary block at these positions. So we can place a sticky piston against it, or by say like this. Well, then actually need to power this block right here. Oh, sorry. We actually need a solid block right here on this side. So, like this. Then we need to bring this signal up. For example, like so. But make sure that, so when we grab the signal here, we need to be able to put 2 repeaters on the third setting in between. We're facing it in here. Then blocks like so. Right here, put a 2-tick repeater, piece of redstone dust. Then a repeater like this, and make sure that this redstone dust is facing into this piston. So that's an important part. Then again, 2 repeaters on the third setting, and connect it into this block up here. For example, like so. Block right here, and one like so. 2-tick repeater right here. So now this pattern just repeats. 2 repeaters on 3 ticks. 1 repeater on 2 ticks. And from here we don't need to expand it. Oh, no, we got another layer, so do this once more. And again, really doesn't matter how you bring the signal up, just make this kind of staircase for the signal to travel. And yeah, this has to be 2 ticks, otherwise it doesn't work. And here you can just put a piece of redstone dust there, because it will face in every direction technically, so it will power this piston. Alright, now of course, we need to control this somehow. And this is the next step I'm going to show you after the next cut. Okay, so I want to grab a signal from over here. And now it depends on whether this is a powered torch or it's unpowered. So in case you don't get a signal from this torch, you have to invert it. And bring it to up here. To knock out this block. Place in another block with a torch. Then we put a block right here and a 4-tick repeater right here. Piece of redstone dust. Then a little thing like this. Another redstone torch. And one torch right here. And a piece of redstone dust right here. So if this is powered, you should hear that these trigger in kind of a cascade. And it should look something like this. Okay. So now, for those of you who know that I like to build RSNOR ledges, this is basically an RSNOR ledge, and this is just one input to change the state. Of course, we need to be able to change the state to activate this part of redstone here. So we simply build a staircase coming up here and remove some blocks again. And we just connect it to this line. So just somewhere over here, grab a signal. I'll just do it right here. Yep. Like this. It doesn't matter if you build anything on top of this spawning platform. So yeah, we also want to make sure that we don't power these pistons, of course. So I prefer to go out a bit. And now we're already just same height. So we can do something like this. Then, of course, we have to reach this block. So count from here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Then I'll just put a repeater here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, that's perfectly fine. So we got the signal in place. And of course, I will do a double check again that I didn't forget any step in this farm, but we're almost done. Actually, there's one important thing we of course have to do, and this is getting some villagers in. So in this tube, I would recommend to put at least 30 villagers in here because there are 256 farms centered in this one spawning pad. So you will have a lot of golems spawning at the same time, which means we want to have the golem cap as high as possible. And I'd recommend 30 or not even 40 villagers in here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, 40 villagers in here. Then also double check that you got a villager in each of these cells. So one right here, one here, and one at the very back. One lonely guy. Hey. Then check again that the hoppers are correctly equipped. So 10 items, 2 stacks plus 47. Right here, 1.5 stacks for items. And there's actually a part missing. So we'll come back here in a second. Then over here, 24 items. And again, 10 items. Now, already said there's a part missing, so let's build this part again. Okay, there's actually one part that I forgot. So we still need a hopper timer right here to trigger this part of the redstone. And for this, let's just get the equipment. So we don't need this stuff. We need comparators. Yep, that should work. Then I'll try to place some stuff here. Basically, this was state at the last cut. Then put a block here, a piece of redstone dust. One block up. Then a repeater on 2 ticks. With a sticky piston behind, block, and a piece of redstone dust. Then we also need to change this here a little bit. So we need to move these two repeaters to over here. Then put a repeater right here on the first setting. Then we'll build a hopper clock, like so. And it's only delay stage, so this side gets a regular piston, this one a sticky piston. Redstone block in between. And right, almost forgot that part. Redstone torch right here. So this looks fine. Then we need to put 1 stack of items in here, and that should do the trick. Now we got these hopper lines, and of course we need an item to travel in here. So make sure that this part of redstone here is powered. If not, put a temporary block here, just put a signal in. So this Ars knowledge is in this state. Then wait for a minute or two and put 1 item into this dropper. And also 1 item into this dropper. It doesn't matter what kind of item it is. If it's stackable, non-stackable, all the same. So let's double check. Yeah, this one didn't receive a pulse. And I also forgot one more thing. Namely, we need to wire up this part, of course. So grab this signal and just feed it onto this dropper here. So make sure that's on a block above, so you don't power it directly. And this is basically the farm done. So now you can hit your button and wait for a bit more than 9 hours, and it should hopefully reset correctly. Now, while the farm is already resetting, hopefully, this is actually not a reset, there's still something going on, but if some part of redstone screws up, it should fix itself. So come to the negative side of your farm, again, negative X, and then make sure on the layers where you have these rather large spaces, so the bottom one and the third one, make sure to cover the doors with some solid blocks. So you don't need to cover every door, but at least every second door. So like this. And then here I usually just put kind of a ring. So, for example, you can use these rings to just put some glowstone in. Right here. Just complete these. Do this for the whole layer. Now, obviously, here you already have some blocks, so just make sure you don't cover these gaps at all. Neither with glowstone nor with other blocks. And yeah, so do this for this layer. And this one, the reason is that at some point in the reset process, the center of a village, which is currently being created, is actually somewhere on these platforms, and you might have some golems spawning on here. So that might kill your raids at some point, and we try to avoid that. And another thing which also affects the negative side only is that you can have zombie sieges. So even if this is lit up perfectly, which you of course have to do for the whole farm, to not have zombies killing your villagers, we actually need to protect our villagers. So we take some glass and just put a little tube around them. So from the outside, cover the whole track in glass. And of course put some torches here so it's lit up. Just like this. Make sure that absolutely nothing can reach your villagers. Cover this one, and also cover the second one. And then we actually need to do a little more redstone, but it's really not much, so stick with me for another second. We'll be done in an instant. So from this block, you can cover them somewhere like this. Then right here, we need to bring a redstone signal in. Do it like this, for example. And then we actually need to grab this signal over here. So just connect it somehow. It really doesn't matter. So this one will be sent in. And this one should receive a signal as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Good enough. Then we need another repeater. Just put it on 4 ticks. So the signal is definitely long enough. Grab the signal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So this works. Again, also cover this guy, of course. And if you want to make sure that he doesn't get any problems at all, you can do it like this. Then, yeah, just finish this part here. So we're finally done. The farm is complete, and currently it's resetting. The farm produces about 10,000 iron per hour, plus, of course, a ton of poppies, which you can use to, for example, load your dimension, or basically the overworld, if you build it in your spawn chunks. But, of course, the collection system and everything is not included in this tutorial, so I will leave that up to yourself. And, yeah, I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, hope you liked the farm, and be sure to leave a comment below the video what you think about the farm, and also what you would like to see next. So, yeah, just leave any feedback you have in the comment box down below. And if you want to know what I'm working on at some points, also be sure to check out my Twitter. There, I sometimes post some stuff about what I'm working on. And yeah, it's probably the easiest way to get some more frequent updates than just the videos I do every now and then. So, again, hope you enjoyed it, and see you next time. Bye-bye.